I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take
Hey guys, it's the Unknown Simmer. Welcome back to my channel, and if this is your first time here, then welcome. And in this video we're going to be talking about how to build in The Sims 4. So if you haven't watched the previous episodes of my beginner's guide, I would recommend you going to watch them, and I'll put them in the description to make life easier for you. So all you need to do is click on the links in the description and then come back to this video once you've caught up. So in this video we're going to touch base on build mode, and this is literally going to be the only beginner's guide that you would need to watch. That's what I'm aiming for. So hopefully once you watch this you'll have the knowledge that you need to start building yourself. So we're going to go from an empty lot, fully furnished mini home, I would say, or like a starter home. So it'll be a step-by-step guide. There'll be no packs, no CC, just literal base game. And yeah, let's get into it. So firstly I'm going to find a world to build in, and I feel like I might as well just use Nordhaven because I'm already playing in there. So let's go to Nordhaven, and I'm going to pick the smallest lot possible. That's 30 by 20. Okay, this is the 20 by 20. Let's do 20 by 20. So you can either go in by two ways. You can build them this way, or if it was a already played household like this one, you can just click on the play button, and then when you get into the game you can change the mode into build mode. But for the sake of the tutorial we're going to go into a fresh lot that's empty and go into build mode. So now that this is loaded up, we're going to just quickly go over some of the tools and the menus that you can use in build mode. So I went over these ones in my previous video. So with this video I'm going to go over these ones. So the first one is the night and day tool. So at the moment it's morning, you can change it to afternoon, evening and night. So this is convenient when you want to see how your build looks in different times of the day. I will explain this later on because it's not important at the moment. We've got the bulldoze tool, which bulldozes what's on the screen. So let's say for example we had a room and we didn't want the room anymore, we can just bulldoze the lot. And then there's also bulldoze the terrain, which means if you had a terrain tool, like let's say you had a patchy, as you guys can see, patchy like kind of grass, and you didn't want that grass anymore, you can just bulldoze the terrain and it goes. Then we've got the move house option where you can literally move the house. Oops. I'm gonna go with this one. So if you want to move it, you just click on this, move the house to wherever you want, as long as it's within the boundaries of that the game allows you to build in. If it goes red, that means you can't drop it there, but as long as it's green you're fine, and then you can literally just click on it and drop it. And then also there is the move option to move the lot as well, so that will move the whole entire floor, as you can see. And then if you wanted to like turn it around, you can turn it around as well by using rotate. You can also rotate it with the arrow keys, which are the full stop and the comma. They can also rotate. So that's that. Outline has popped up. That's because of the unit outline, right? What I use the unit outline for is to make a specific room private. So you can actually click on it and then you can change the privacy. So it can be public, residential or employees only. Say for example you had a store and you just wanted this particular room to be employees only, but then you had the shop front and you wanted that to be public. That's an option, as you can see, public, and that's employees only. That's the only reason why I personally use the outliner. If anyone else has any other reasons why it'll be good to be used, you can drop it in the comments, but as far as I know that's all I use it for. I'm not like a professional builder, by the way. I'm just a girl who just does stuff and I just get things done and it works out. So I'm gonna literally that's exactly what I'm showing you, is how I do things. Someone out there may do things differently, but this is literally the easiest way to do things, the way that I'm going to be explaining in this video. So that's that. I'm going to toggle this off, and then we've got the save option. So let's say that you're happy with the build and you want to now save it into the gallery or save it into your personal library. Go into save, where you can save the entire house, or you can save just a room. If you want to save just a room, you do have to click the room that you want to save, and then you can save it. If you want to save the entire house, you can just click on save lot, and then you can change the name of whatever you want to name it. It does have some previews of the property, and then you can change how many bedrooms it is if it's a house, and how many bathrooms it is as well. And there's actually no custom content, but I guess because my game has custom content, this is automatically ticked. So if you don't have custom content, that won't be ticked. Then we've got this option where if you want to save it to the gallery, and then this option to save it to your own personal library. Then we've got the redo and undo buttons, which is very straightforward, and you can also use the Control Z button and Control Y, which you can use in other programs as well. It's the same thing with The Sims. And then we've got the hammer, which is to break down things that you don't want. You can just delete them, get rid of them. You can also click on the hammer and drag if you want to get rid of a few things at once. With the hammer tool, you can use it on almost everything, as long you just can't use it on the terrain tools and certain other things that I can't remember, but when you try it and it says nothing to delete, that means you can't use it on that. But you can use it on this ground, for example, because this is a floor, so that will literally delete the floor. Then we've got the design tool, and this is where you can change the color of certain objects or items. You can't change everything with the design tool. So say for example you had let's say you had a wall pattern, a white wall, you can't use the design tool to change the wall. You can't change the floor with it. You can only change objects. So like for example, you had a tree and you wasn't really feeling the color of the tree. You can change that color to whatever colors they are available. I'm just going to use the hammer to get rid of the tree. Then we've got the eyedropper tool, which is where you can copy a certain thing that you have that you want to duplicate. So let's say for example you like the white wall and you want it on another part of the property. You can just click on it and then it copies it, and then you can just drop it. And you can also click and drag if you want it to go across the whole place. And if you want it to cover everywhere in the most convenient way, just click on the shift button and hover over it and it covers it like that. And then you can also do that on this side. Click the shift button and then it covers it like that. The next tool is the select tool. Also with the eyedropper tool, you can't copy everything. You can't copy the terrain either. Certain things that you can't copy that you'll find out. You can copy like the floor pattern that's inside if you want to. But it's just the same as the design tool. It will tell you if it can't be copied. Then we've got the select button, which is just literally the select button where you can select things. That is the main thing that you're going to use when you're in build mode. Another thing that you may notice is that there's a grid on the floor, and with me I don't like to use the grids because I feel like it's just distracting. Some people may want to use it just to get accuracy with the builds. I just kind of measure by eye, but it is a good way to measure. If you don't want the grid on, you can just click G and then the grid will be gone. Another thing to note as well is this part up here. So over here you can change what the lot is called by just changing it, lot name, whatever you want to name it. And you can have the venue information as well. So you can change the type of lot. Right now it's residential, but you can change it based on the packs you have. You have different options the more packs you have. Then you've got the traits panel where you can add traits to the venue. So for example, if it's a club, you may want it to be a bad girls club. Maybe you may want it to be a party place. You can click party place. And what's another good one? A teen neighborhood, because like let's say 18 plus want to go to the club, like you can make it a vibe. You can change it what you want, or you can, if it's a house, you can make it homey, fast internet. You could do a celebrity home, you can do a peace and quiet environment, you know, and it tells you kind of what the trait actually means as well if you hover over it. So that's worth doing when you're making a lot as well. You can also add lot challenges if you want to as well, and when you hover over it, it tells you exactly what the challenge does. Obviously this button is just to randomize it if you want it to randomize it. If you've got business and hobbies, you also have small businesses. We're not going to go into that because we only talk about base game today, I'm gonna actually do another video on packs where I'll go into different things that the different packs have, and that will be another video for another day. Another thing to note is that it shows you the lot value, so the more you add to the lot, the more the value increases. It will also show the lot dimensions, which is good to know, especially if you're in a lot and you don't want to build yourself and you want to download from the gallery. It's good to know that the size of the lot you're working with. Also, you can add the amount of rooms that you are making right here, so that if you was to go into the save part, it will actually already have that filled in for you. And you can view venue types in gallery from here rather than going up here. Some lots that you have will have lot requirements. Residential, you tend to not have any requirements. Residential will have it if you're in San Myshuno, which comes with City Living, because they have their own requirements there. But certain things, like let's say you want a restaurant, restaurants will come with requirements and you will need to do this, otherwise it won't be able to function without these things. But let's get back to the residential. That's all the tools you will need to build. Another thing to note is that with these tools up here, you can toggle them with certain keys on the keyboard. So for example, select is a H, the eyedropper is E, the design tool is R, the sledgehammer is K, undo is, like I said, Control Z or Control Z and Control Y. To save it, you just have to click save. Move it, you can do U. Bulldoze, you have to click bulldoze. The outliner, you could just click O, and then with the time of the day, you can click L. So those are also options as well. Another thing to note is that I showed you guys the shift key will allow you to cover the whole place in a more convenient way. But another thing that's convenient to know is that if you wanted to have a tree but you wanted it in a certain place where it wouldn't normally be allowed to go, you can use the Alt button and you can drag it freely. There's like free movement. If it goes red and you want it there but it's red, you can also do a cheat. So you can go to Shift, Control and C at the same time to bring up the cheat panel, and then click BB dot move, no space, objects, and then enter, and then it'll tell you that the cheat's on. Then you can Shift, Control C to remove the cheat panel, and then now you can move your tree into places where you shouldn't normally be able to move it, like that. So that's good to know as well. Now I'm gonna bulldoze this and start from scratch because we're gonna build our little house. And what you need to know as well is that when you're in a certain mode, because right now I'm in free build mode, which means that there's no limit. Everything right now is unlimited. I can build as much as I want and not be losing out on funds. But if you go into a household and then go into build mode, it really depends on how much money the household has. If your household has like not enough money and you want to make more money to build, you can do a cheat where you do Shift, Control C again. My favorite cheat is the money one, where you go money and then you put the amount of money that you want, and it will just give you that when you press enter. Oh, you need to do the testing cheats first. So testing cheats on. Some people do testing cheats true. It's the same thing. It works either way. I like to do testing cheats on. Enter, cheats are enabled, and then you can do motherload, which gives you instant 50k if you're in a household, or you can do money and then you can do however amount you want and then press enter, and then that will give you that amount if you're in a household. Let's get off that. Some people may find it easier to sketch a layout, and that's, you can do that like on a piece of paper and a pen. You can do it on an actual program. I don't usually do that. Sometimes I do. If I know exactly what I want, I will do a layout. If I'm just freestyling, I won't do a layout. I'll just go with the flow like I'm doing today. I'm gonna have a basic shape, so we'll go for a normal rectangle shape, and I'm gonna now place down the rooms that I want in this property. So there's two ways to do this. You could do it with the wall tool, or you can toggle the B key as well, and you can literally just use the wall to go click on it, click on wherever you want to start, move it, do not drag it, just move the mouse and then stop it where you're happy with it to be stopped. My best tool when it comes to building is the room tool. So click on the room tool and it actually draws a room for you rather than you having to do wall by wall. It just does it for you. But I'm gonna make this a bit smaller. To make things smaller, you just click on whatever room you want to make smaller and use the arrow and drag it, and then it makes it smaller for you. And then now I'm just going to use the wall tool again to build a wall like that. And then because I've got quite a big space here, I'm gonna just do this as well to split it. So my house layout is now ready. I didn't say this before, but it may be a good idea to actually follow along so that you can get used to the functionality of build. So it may be worth just doing what I've just done, pausing the video or rewind the video and go back to what I've just done. What I'm gonna do is, I've decided that I'm gonna make this property a bit smaller. So I'm gonna just drag in the walls from this side, and I'm going to drag it in this way because I want it to have a corridor. So this is going to be the actual outline. And now that I've got the house like this, I want it to be centered. So I'm going to use the move tool to reposition the house. So literally just click on the house, move it to the center. And now it's in the middle. And now I'm going to show you guys how to go upstairs and downstairs. So as you can see, this is the ground floor. If I wanted to make another floor, I'll just click on the arrow to go upstairs. You can also click on the page up button if you've got the page up button in your keyboard. And then if you don't have a keyboard that has the page up button just there, you might have to use your FN button. So try to click FN and then page down or page up. And to get the walls down, you can do end, and to get the walls up you can do home. Sorry, that's toggled my reshade as well because that's the same button for my reshade. There's also another option to bring the walls up with this icon here, so you can toggle them up and down through here as well. So now that I'm happy with the layout, I'm gonna add doors for my corridor. So to add doors, you just go down to this section over here and click on doors. So there's obviously different types of doors. If you want outdoor type of doors, and if you want your interior type of doors. So you just need to literally pick based on your preference. I'm going to only use the base game for this entire video, so I'm going to change it to base game only. If you see the blue wrench, that just means it's custom content, so you can ignore that for now because we're not going to be using custom content in this video. So a front door that I'm going to go for would be, I'm going to go for this one. And I'm going to go for it in black. No, I've changed my mind. Because I changed my mind, I just clicked undo. I'm going to go for this one instead. So this is the front door. And then I'm going to do the interior doors now with just a basic door. I'll just go for this one. I want all the doors to be black, so we'll do black. I'm going to even make them all align like that. So now I've got all the doors that I want. We're going to move over to windows. And remember guys, this is just a tutorial for a basic video, so it's just to show you how to build. So I'm going to add windows here and here, and then I'm going to add 3 here. Let's make it a bit equal. So that's going to be the exterior windows. And then what I've decided to do is to have a door to lead out to the garden. So I'm going to just quickly add a door that would lead to the garden. I'm going to go for this one. And then let's get back to the windows. We're going to add windows inside the house as well. Just add one there, one there. I'm going to add one here and here, and one there, and then one there. So we've got some natural lighting coming in to the property as well. Beautiful, beautiful. So now that we've got the outline of our house, I want to show you guys how to work with the walls and empty rooms. So you just literally click on a wall, and then when I say click on a wall, I mean you just click on this section and it tells you what it is. So it says walls and empty rooms, click on it, and then it brings this up. As you can see, there's so many different tools. I don't use all of them because I don't necessarily need to. So if I was you and you're just a beginner, just use what you actually need to use. So say for example you want an outer house for your garden, like maybe you want a shed. Your best friend would be the room tool, where you just literally click on the room tool and then build your little shed. I'm gonna make that a bit smaller. So that's a shed, which we will edit later on. And then we've got the different types of shapes. So if you wanted to have an L shape, you can just have an L shape which is just a more convenient way to have an L-shaped room rather than building it yourself. You can also build it yourself if you want to. You can use the wall tool to do it like this by literally doing it manually yourself. It takes ages, as you can see, so that's why it's convenient to use the actual shapes that they've made for you rather than building it yourself, because that just added 5 seconds to the build. So I'm just going to get rid of this quickly and then get rid of this as well. So you can mess around with the different shapes. There's triangle, octagon, and the round shape as well. And then you've got the basement tool, which is if you want a basement underneath your house. So let's say we had a basement, you can just literally place down basement tool wherever you want. It would make sense to do it somewhere where you can have a door leading downstairs or stairs leading downstairs. So you'll just literally, let's pretend that this shed had a basement underneath it. You'd place the basement tool down, and then if you click on the down arrow, you'll have your basement downstairs. You will obviously need stairs to get into it, which I'll show you afterwards. So that's the basics. You also have the platform options where you can add a platform tool, and then you literally just draw it as whatever you want, and then it brings up a platform. And you can have the ready-made platforms in certain shapes that you may want to use for certain builds that you're making. And you can have a flat square on the ground, which just gives you a flat ground. I don't ever use this, but you can definitely use it if you want to. If you want a floor without a wall, for example, because where you see the green, that is just the terrain. That's not an actual floor. That's the basics when it comes to the walls and empty rooms. You also do have fences where you can add a fence in, or they call it a deck, but it's literally a fence. Let me show you. If we had a square one, let's say you wanted a square deck in, you can just add it there. It gives you a fence. With the fences, you can also drag them out as big as you want and as wide as you want, as long as it's within the boundaries and it's not shown as red. If you wanted to raise it, because you can see it's quite flat right now, you can raise it with the platform tool, raise a platform tool. So there we go, you now have it the same size as the same height as this platform, or you can lower it back down by clicking lower platform. You can also raise a build by literally using these arrows, and it will raise it for you. So as you can see, the rest of the house is still the same length, same height, but this has been raised. And some people may want to do that for whatever you're building, but we're not building anything too complex today, so we're not going to need that. There's also different size walls you can get. So at the moment, these walls are all small, but we can make them tall and we can also make them medium. You can also use the move tool if you want to move a specific room, just like that. And you can use the rotate tool here as well, or the full stop or comma if you want to rotate the room. You can also duplicate it, copy it if you want to copy the certain room as well. And I'm just going to undo that. Another thing to note is that whilst we're talking about heights, there are shorter walls as well. You can draw them manually. So let's say you wanted a medium wall, you can draw it on there. Say you had the medium wall but you weren't happy with it and you want to change it, you can replace it with this by whatever height you want, by just doing that, replacing it like that, and then it replaces it for you, because it literally just drops the height that you want over what you've already got. You can also do that with this, whatever wall you want, to make it smaller if you want to, but obviously that's not practical. That's not what we're going to be doing. You can make a wall, you can make a room as well with the size, whatever size you want. So let's say you wanted a short room for whatever reason you want, you can do that. So we're going to get rid of these because we don't need them. I really hope this tutorial isn't too much, and I hope you guys are able to follow it. But obviously it's a video that you can always go back on. If you are confused about anything, just rewind it. Don't overwhelm yourself, because it's literally not worth stressing over. Just rewind it and then slow it down if you need to. Do what you need to do. Just don't stress, because it's not that deep. At the end of the day, it's not that deep. I'm bringing this back up because I want to show you guys the trimmings as well, because you can have trimmings of different colors. So as you can see, when it's on it gives it like a darker shade and a different pattern, and there's all these different types of patterns that you can go for, and different colors as well. And obviously the platform trimmings, where you can change the color of the platform. So let's say you wanted it to be this color, whatever color you want to go for, whatever your style is, you can do it. And then, so now that we've got that, I'm going to take the wall back to short, because I feel like I want it short for this video. If you feel like at any point you are not happy with the size of anything, I think I may have showed you guys this before, but you can use the arrows to stretch out the room or make it smaller. So don't ever stress over this game. When you think about The Sims, yeah, it is just a game. I always have to tell myself at the end of the day, it's just a game. Don't stress. Everything can be edited, everything can be changed. So because we have our outline of the house, we're gonna now add the wall textures. For the outside house or the shed, I'm gonna give it like a bricky texture. I'm going to stick with base game. I nearly went to custom content. And I'm going to use the shift button to get the whole shed to be one color. I'm going to go with the same pattern around the house as well. And then we're going to go upstairs so that we can add a roof. You do have to do it yourself manually. So with this house, I think I may go with the go board roof. I'm gonna just place it. I'm not the greatest with roofs, I will be so honest, but I'm gonna just try for the sake of this video. So I'm gonna drag it along because I want it to cover the entire rooftop, and then I'm gonna make it shorter by clicking arrows. So the arrows literally are your best friends when it comes to roofs. Just drag it out. So that's gonna be the roof we're gonna go for in this video. I'm making a bungalow, as you guys can see. If you want to change the pattern of the roof, you can do that with the roof pattern option. Because we're going with a dark theme, I'm going to stick with a dark roof, or the best of the bunch that we've got, because as you can see, the roofs are not great, so it may be worth getting custom content roofs. I'm going to do this one, and then I'm going to add a bit of a different color on this part. We're going with base game. So what's the base game colors? Let's go with something like this. We'll go with a grey maybe. I think that looks decent. I don't think that looks too bad. I mean, you may not agree with me, but at the end of the day, this is just a tutorial to just help you build. It's not about making the best house, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it looks like. What I'm going to do now is to add a floor. So with the floor, there's a few different options that you can do. You can do the terrain one, where you have these tools that come with the game, and you can use it to change the color of the grass on the outside. Or you can use a stone texture, or you can use dirt and sand textures as well. I'm going to use a pavement-y type of texture. Let's go with this one. I'm going to change the shape to square. So I'm going to make it bigger by dragging it with this to the size that I want. I think I'll make it a bit smaller. And then now to draw, you just literally click on the floor, and then you can draw your walkway. Bob's your uncle. Very easy. I'm going to do it along here as well. It's so hard to get it so really accurate, but just try your best to get it as accurate as you can. And then we're going to go over it anyway to make it look more realistic. So that doesn't really matter. So now that we have our walkway, we're going to add a fence around it. Guys, I'm literally making this up as I go. I don't have a plan. I don't have a vision. I'm just going with whatever. So just follow me along on this crazy journey. I hate that sometimes you can't have it exactly where you want it, so you just have to work with what the outline that The Sims gives you. Okay, so that's what is going to be the entrance to the property. I'm going to add a fence. By the way, I didn't show you guys this, but basically these are the different menus when it comes to building. So we've got the build mode menus, we've got objects by rooms, and we've got objects by function. We also have inventory as well, but this only matters if you have a household. You won't really need this if it's just a free build, because there's no inventory for no one, because no one lives here. So let's go back to build, and we're going to go on gates now, and we're going to add a gate to our property. I hate that the fences are so small and the gates are not the best, but we're going to just pick the best out of the bad bunch. Guys, I don't like any of these fences, by the way. I mean, any of these gates. Like, I hate all of them. Absolutely hate all of them. I'm going to use Alt to move it. Actually, you can't even move Alt. I hate them. They're so ugly. Does it even need one? Does it even need one at this point? Because I'm not gonna lie, like, I just added an extra part here so that the gate can actually connect to it properly. But I can't even pick a gate that I like, so I'm just gonna go with the first one. It's so ugly though. This is why custom content comes in handy, because why would you want a gate like this? As you can see, because I've closed up the gate, it has taken away my pathway. If you want to just re-add that, you just have to go to the hammer and remove the floor, and then the pathway will be back. I really hate this gate. I don't know if I want to keep it actually. Just disgraceful, guys. I think I'm going to change my fence. Yeah, I'm going to change the fence. I've decided, because that's the only option for me to make this work. So we're going to go with this fence. We're going to put it in black. And I just use this tool to replace it rather than having to draw it again from scratch. So this just replaces it. So this one makes more sense because at least the gate actually fits. I'm going to use the design tool to change the color to make it... I don't even know what friggin' color it can be at this point. Guys, the colors are so whack. I'm going to get rid of this and change the gate again. Right, so I'm going to go with this. I've settled with this. So now that we've got that all done, we can also add some trees and stuff to make it look realistic. With the garden, I think we'll do this in the next video. I hope you guys followed along and have made your house as well. You don't have to copy exactly what I'm making. So just whatever tickles your fancy, really. Yeah, we'll go for something like this. Wow, that's huge. I wasn't trying to go for a huge one. Yeah, let's get rid of that. It's just a bit too big for my liking. Do you know what? Yeah, I'm going to bring back that big tree that I just had and show you guys what you can do with it. Was it this one? So I do like the shape of the tree, but it's too big. So you can click on the square bracket to the left to make it smaller, to the right to make it bigger. So I've just made it smaller, and I could actually just do that and add it on there. And then I'm going to change this tree and use the European beech tree because it's a bit more smaller. Then we're going to go in with the shrubs, and we're going to add some of this just to make it look realistic. I'm going to add some grass as well, and I'm using Alt right now to move it freely. Guys, can you believe that we started with a blank square, literally a green grassy square, and we've now got a house, if you've been following along anyway. And then you can literally just add some other shrubs just to give it a bit of like different character going on. I like to just add random ones just to, you know, keep it realistic or whatever. And what I want to do is to make it realistic, like it's actually growing from the ground. I'm going to add a bit of mud, some scratchy in patches is what it's called, and just colour it in. So that way it looks like it's actually grown in the ground. And I'm just lightly tapping it so that it looks a bit realistic. And then with the grass, you can always move it if there's like patchy parts that you want to cover up as well. And if you want to twist it, you can hold it down and just drag it to twist it if you have a mouse wheel. If you don't have a mouse wheel, I'm not sure if you can do it with the trackpad if you have a laptop, but you can definitely use the comma and you can use the full stop to turn it around. And then I'm just going to use the copy tool to get some more grass over here, just because it was a bit patchy, and some over here as well. Obviously you can go crazy, you can add more grass if you want to, but I'm just going to keep it as that. In fact, I'm going to do this part as well. I completely forgot about this tool, guys, but if you wanted to, like, say for example, some objects don't have the option to duplicate, some of them do. So let's say for example, let's say we had a window, you can continually place them down without having to do anything. They just continuously have options. But with grass, for example, you can't. Like if you click copy, it will only bring out one. If you want to bring out more without having to keep clicking on it, all you need to do is click on the grass and hold down shift, and then place it whilst you're holding down shift, and then it will continue to bring more and more to make your life easier. So I'm going to do this side as well, just holding shift. Also, just be careful that you're not actually bringing grass into the house, because more than likely I've just done that. So I'm going to have to, yeah, I'm going to have to fix that. Before we end the tutorial, because I'm about to, I'm going to add some outdoor furnishing. So I'm going to go to objects by function, and I'm going to go to comfort, and then outdoor furniture. And then we've got, oh yeah, we're doing base game, so let's go to base game. I'm gonna add a bench out here and maybe like some chairs as well. Just change the color by clicking. I want some white ones. So that's the outside. I'm gonna just add a table for this section. I'm trying to find one that's nice, that's like base game, so that you guys can actually add the same one if you're following along, but I can't seem to find a good one. Okay, this is perfect. There we go. So the tutorial is going to have to stop here, and then the next video I'm going to show you guys is going to be continuing of the build video, because I did mention to you when it comes to building it's so long, so it's going to be probably a 2 or 3 part video when it comes to building. This is part 1 where we've done the exterior. You've learned how to do quite a few things in this video hopefully, and you're going to learn some more in the next video. So next video we're going to fill in the house, we're going to actually decorate the interior, we're going to do the garden, and we're going to finish off the outside as well from the front as well, because I do want to make it a bit better. But that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys learned a lot from it, and at the end of the video there is going to be a little quiz, so make sure you do the quiz and hopefully you get the answers right. Hopefully you were paying attention, playing along, and I'll see you guys on my next video with more to come with the build. Thanks for watching. Please, if you could just leave a comment, tell me what you think of the video, give it a like, give it a subscribe. I will appreciate whatever you guys do.